Hey guys, Tarke here, and as a follow-up to yesterday's video where I talked about a few things, one of the things I touched on was I wasn't sure if Flashback was actually damaging for the long-term health of PoE, even though it's one of my favourite things about PoE. And I wasn't aware of this, but apparently League of Legends had a similar mode to Flashback called URF. URF is basically ultra-rapid fire mode, and it gave 80% increased cooldown reduction, infinite mana, double attack speed, double crit, boosted movement speed, gold income, raised level cap, so on and so forth. And they actually made a developer post saying that URF makes some people stop playing League, and this is basically one of the things I was expecting. Does this sort of happen? Because I've noticed this behavior with me personally with PoE. So I'll just read this briefly and kind of a little chat about it. So again, I'll try and say LOL instead of League of Legends. If I say League and League, sorry for any confusion, but we'll just get into it. So, every time we ran regular URF, we'd see a huge spike of games being played, and then the number actually dropped back down to a level that's lower than it was just before we ran the event. It's normal for new players to join LOL, and for some long-time players to leave. This happens all the time. But when we turned on regular URF, it was different. In NA, for example, whenever we ran URF, we'd usually see over twice as many long-time players leave the game compared to what we'd normally expected. In other words, some people binged on URF and then suddenly stopped playing LoL. And the size of the drop-off indicates that it's not just people coming back for URF and then leaving afterwards. Despite spending a lot of time investigating the reasons, we weren't actually sure whether URF causes some sort of hangover effect, for it makes regular games feel slow by comparison. Maybe it's because URF feels like playing LoL with cheats turned on. Regardless, after we turn on URF, the total number of games go down, as do overall game hours, and they don't recover for a long time, if ever. We've been trying to wrap our heads around a way to solve this problem for a while, and that's one of the biggest reasons you see us experimenting with variations of the mode. And they go on and give some examples. Although these modes still suffer from a bit of the binge then churn effect that regular URF has, it's not nearly as bad. Probably because you're not seeing the same OP champions every game. URF causes some people to stop playing LoL, but a lot if you really love it. So instead of killing URF altogether, we're just going to keep experimenting to find some healthier versions of the mode. Tell us your thoughts, and we'll apply and listen. So the reason why I find this very interesting, even though LoL and PoE are very different games, is it's the similar effect. And even if Flashback doesn't cause this, it would be very interesting to discuss why this kind of a flashback or an ultra rapid mode works in one game and not another. And I think you can apply this not only Flashback, but you can also apply this to League design itself. And I always go back to Bestiary. So Bestiary was a league which had many problems. I know I defended it a lot, and it was a very flawed league. But I think this is one of the best examples we have of this. So Bestiary really slowed down the free item progression, the free XP progression, compared to previous leagues. So Abyss gave a bunch of extra monsters, so that gave you faster experience, and it gave you rapid loot explosions through the chests and just all the extra monsters dropping loot. Harby, same case, with the orbs being overpowered. Before that, going into stuff like Legacy, so on and so forth. So we went from a very long period of time in Path of Exile having lots of loot explosions and lots of ready availability to, pre-nerfed Breach. And then we went into Bestiary, where all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, the great Alk conspiracy of 2017, or 18 even. And I think that's a similar-ish thing here. And I find it really interesting to kind of think about, could we run into the same issue? And obviously there's a very big difference between LoL and PoE, and the fact that PoE has rotating leagues, regular expansions. Every 3 months we have the hard reset unless you play standard. And then, people have different expectations. So even though there might potentially be drop-off being caused by Flashback, assuming the content was good enough, it would hopefully even out. But I'm very curious. We've had, I believe, 4 Flashback events in a row now. We've had Harby, Abyss, Bestiary. This will be the 4th starting in a couple of days. And I want you guys to just really think about your experience after playing the Incursion Flashback and then compare that to your excitement to then start again in whatever the new league is. And since GG is committed to the Mega League development cycle of each league being more impressive and more exciting than the last, I'm really, really curious to see if we're going to start having a similar league spectacle problem where the leagues are just becoming so hyped and so exciting that the core game just feels, you know, slow and boring in comparison. Will we have the URF problem with PoE? But yeah, I don't know. I find this kind of stuff incredibly interesting to talk about, even if we don't actually offer any suggestions and we just kind of mention the idea. I find this far more exciting than just, you know, making mediocre build guides and videos. So if you guys do enjoy this kind of discussion, then please let me know, and let me know what your thoughts are. But yes, I'm Tarke. URF is apparently a problem. Does that make Flashback a problem? Have a good day, and bye-bye.